We going?
We are on.
Hey, everybody, we're live.
And it's April Fool's Day. And it's not a trick that Greg has his gloves on. There's a reason for that.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, Greg doesn't normally wear gloves as part of his. There we go. Our normal little routine.
Excuse me.
It is.
I'm pulling a Doug from Pepper Tree Villa.
It is April 1st. Can you believe it? March is already gone.
I know. It's April Fool's Day, too.
It is. And I haven't seen a whole lot of April Fool's jokes, and I was kind of wondering if that was going to happen or not. So I think people are more subdued with everything going on right now.
I think we got a text that was April Fool's because they were saying that they got an RV and they were leaving.
Oh.
And I said, that must be an April Fool's. So
we have a cruising show tonight, but there's also a little bit of land information in there. We have special guests coming on tonight, and that is Taziar Travel. So if you guys are not familiar with them, this is a great chance for you guys to get to know them. We actually met Taziar Travel on the NCL Bliss. We met Jeremy at that time. If I remember right, Melissia wasn't feeling too well, so we didn't get a chance to meet her, but we did meet him by the go-karts. And we ended up meeting them both earlier this year at the Ship Show meetup in Orlando before we went on our Disney cruise out of Port Canaveral. So that was at the beginning of February, end of January. I think January 31st is when we met up. So we're excited to have them on our show. We've been familiar with them for a while. I will tell you, if you guys are unfamiliar with Taziar Travel, you definitely need to subscribe, especially as creators, because I will tell you a few things.
They have some cool videos.
Their editing and how they do the B-rolls is phenomenal. I think they're one of the best channels out there that does that. Their intro music, if I could steal anything from a channel, it would be their intro music, because I love when I hear, I start doing a little.
But we don't steal from other channels.
No, we don't do that.
So
but, that would be the one I would do it. So they do a great job, and we're going to bring them on now. We're going to have some fun today, and so we're going to introduce Jeremy and Melissia. I got it. There you go. Welcome.
Hey.
How are we doing today?
Can't hear you.
Oh, you guys are muted right now. I don't know if you guys can hear us.
I think you're muted.
We're good. We're good. We're not muted now.
Sorry, I need to get rid of my Facebook so I don't have the little beeps coming on. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. So, Greg, while we have a chance, why don't we introduce, looks like we have Disney channels in here. We have cruising channels.
We've been seeing people that are saying it's a herd attack because they're coming from Disney Nerd Herder Show. So we're going to welcome Flamingo Pam, NYC Rocks, Blaine 2007, Rachel Myers and the Mouse Biggest Fan, Taziar Travel, of course, Wanda Chiquita, Bonita, Byron, Banana, Josh Odom. I think I said Fisher Fun Adventures. Let's see. I don't want to miss anyone. Pepper Tree Villa, Captain Akron 27. Excuse me, Michael Riley, PTV2. Griswold Family Vacay, Myers and the Mouse, Bikers Crazy Adventures, Papa Moza. Let's see, I'm scrolling through. Kelly Haston, More Sunshine Please with Jim. Am I missing? Destinations Delight, Crystal Wagner.
They said they are new to us, so welcome. Thank you for joining
welcome.
us. Yes.
So I think I got everybody, so welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
So we do have, why don't we do the gift first? So we did receive a package. That's why Greg has gloves on. That sounds so common. We received the package in the mail from Italy. So we sanitized it, because everything that's going on. But Wanda, Bonita, Chiquita, Byram sent us a package, and we are going to open it. So we have no idea what it is. She asked me if I wanted to. Why are you smelling it? It's not a book.
No, I thought I smelled something spicy for a moment. I don't know what you're sending. No.
It's here first. That way you're not cutting anything if it's fragile. All right, so we're going to continue on while Greg's starting to open that. So some information on your guys' channel, which we were talking about beforehand, and you guys weren't aware of your numbers, but you currently have 735 subscribers. So we hope by the end of today, you definitely jump up from that. You have 133 videos. Your YouTube, you joined it on 12/31 in 2017. But do you remember when you actually released your first video?
This is not where you should open it.
Barbados.
Well, Barbados was our first vlog series, but I'm not sure when we actually put out our very first video. But we had like our very first vlog series was in May of 2018. So
Okay. So
we
that
already
was,
had a few videos before that, kind of like maybe some resort tours or room tours or something like that. But our trip to Barbados was the very first main
Series.
vlog. Yeah.
so that was a little bit before we saw you guys on the NCL Escape.
Yeah.
Escape the
The Bliss. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys have 155,889 views. So that's very good. Greg's looking at that.
I already know what it is.
Well, now he shouldn't have done that.
Well, it says it right here.
Greg's ruined the surprise already.
It's like totally right there.
Do you want me to hold the package or no? Since I don't have gloves.
No,
Oh, wow.
sorry.
If it came from Italy, it must be a pizza.
A frozen pizza.
Yeah, frozen pizza. You just need to cook it.
We haven't eaten yet today, so we're 5 o'clock here on the West Coast. So we shall see. 741 people you guys have subscribers. So awesome.
Wow.
It's great. I definitely would say if there's any channel that deserves subscribers, it is you guys.
Oh, thank you.
We do top-notch quality stuff.
Sorry for all the
I
noise.
just want to see what this is in the box too.
I know.
It's like the
There's
anticipation.
a lot of styrofoam in here. Oh, great. Now it's stuck into the gloves.
Maybe,
Oh.
maybe we should have taken care of some of this before we went live.
Give it all glove.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
She gave us Dilly Dilly.
There you go.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Lumen Saraceni.
This is the stuff that I shared on Facebook, and I put her name in it. So let me see it. So awesome. Thank you. It is.
That's
Lumon.
cool.
Yeah. It's a Prodato.
It's a wine.
Prodato must means made in Italy. Prodato,
Here.
product of Italy. Awesome. Thank you so much. We
Thank
will
you
definitely have to
very
try
much.
that. Papa Mozo, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. You are so kind. We also have joining us Brandy and Dave and Brandy's Excursion. So thank you. I was actually looking for a blue drink today too. So it's interesting that we received that. All right, guys. So we are looking at, it's 5:08. We're going to go ahead and get started on the show. As Greg almost trips walking out here. All right. So you guys have, not only are you cruising experts, you've also do a lot of land. In fact, you guys find cheap ways and have good little hints on how you can save money when you travel. But how many Greg?
Sorry.
How many
Here.
cruises have you guys sailed on? This is we're like a disaster right now.
No, I'm.
You can wash your hands, really? Or?
How many cruise lines have you sailed with, and how many cruises have you been on?
So we've been on 16 different cruises.
Yeah.
13 different cruise lines with 4 different.
Not 13 cruise lines.
13 different cruise ships. 16 cruises total. 4 different cruise lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
We had created some new cruise lines
Yeah, there's
there
a
for a
lot of cruise
minute.
lines.
so what cruise lines have you sailed with?
Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and
Norwegian.
really quick. I'm sorry. I don't think we saw this, but thank you, Papa Moza, for the
We did.
super chat. Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm
Yeah.
saying thank you because I wasn't here then.
We have one of our power channels that have joined us, RobFuz. Thank you so much for joining us, our Mr. Technology guy. So thank you. So what has been your favorite cruise line to sail with?
We've sailed a lot with Carnival.
I think 8 of our 8 Carnival.
Yeah,
cruises.
8 of our cruises I think were with Carnival, and we started out with Carnival, and we kind of started out with really older, smaller ships, and kind of advanced towards the newer,
Mhm.
brand new ships. Then we kind of jumped to other cruise lines, and I really feel like my favorite is Norwegian.
I think so too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We've only sailed them 3 times, but
Yep.
yeah, we do like Norwegian.
Actually, when you were saying earlier that you met Jeremy when we were on the Bliss, and I was sick, I actually had food poisoning.
Oh no.
And it's still my favorite ship to this date, and I was sick on the cruise. So
It is my favorite
yeah,
ship
it's
too.
definitely our favorite ship as well.
Yeah. Not sure if it's my favorite cruise though.
Yeah.
I have different cruises I think that are my favorite, but that ship is by far I think our favorite.
Our favorite.
Okay. What is your least favorite?
That's a hard
What's
question.
your least favorite cruise line?
Thank you,
Least favorite
Spiker.
cruise line? Of those 3 or 4?
I would actually say Royal Caribbean is my
we're
least
not,
favorite.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. We're not huge Royal Caribbean fans.
Did you go on the bigger ones? The
Oasis? We went on the Oasis, the Allure, and Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so
they're all big ships.
But. Yeah, I think we maybe need to try some of their smaller ships. We've found that the food selection, there was a lot of food selection there, but a lot of the food we actually didn't like. And I don't know if maybe it's because they're mass producing it for, huge amounts of people. And so maybe the quality of the food isn't quite what it would be on a smaller ship, maybe. But that's the big thing. Their entertainment's phenomenal. I mean, their entertainment.
And their pizza.
Their pizza's
phenomenal too.
Yeah, we do like their pizza. It surpasses a lot of the other cruise lines, but there's certain things about it that I think we're just not.
We weren't big on the main dining room food.
Yeah.
The food in the main dining room, I don't know, it just never. We look over the menu and it's like, well, there's one thing I might eat on that menu, right? I mean, we're not overly picky. I'm not overly picky.
I'm more picky than he is, but
yeah, it just wasn't not our favorite cruise line.
Yeah,
at least.
That's interesting to know. And Greg, thank you. You said we had a super chat that came through.
Yep, from Spiker's Crazy Adventures. Thank you very much.
They went
said it in the chat too.
Yeah, they said thank you for the help yesterday. They went live for the first time, I think, officially for the first time yesterday. So we always say it's great to go live. There's so many benefits of doing that. It's a chance for you to get a quick interaction with the people that you're watching with. But it helps you be more comfortable in front of the camera. So we highly recommend going live. And we've reached out to other channels who've reached out to us that had needed help. So anyone out there needs help and interested in going live, we are always more than happy to reach out and help you guys try to support the community as much as we can. Pepper Tree Vela, thank you so much for joining us, you guys. Congratulations.
They got monetized today.
Yes, and they didn't believe it at first. They thought it was an April Fool's joke by YouTube. But the sad thing is, they said that they from November they had been waiting to be monetized, and they hadn't heard anything for 6 months. And finally, today of all days, they were able to get monetized. So congratulations, guys.
And it's not an April Fool's joke either.
No, not an April Fool's joke. All right. So going along with some of the cruising stuff, what has been your favorite ship? You said it was the Bliss?
Yeah, I think the Bliss, we basically booked that cruise just because of the ship. I'm a huge fan of the artist Wyland, who actually painted the hull of that ship. And so the minute they announced that he was painting it, we booked the cruise. Pretty much.
You liked it just because of Wyland painted the ship.
Yeah, that sold me right there.
Yeah, there it is.
But we like that artist so much that we named our cat Wyland. So and we've actually went to see him several times, painting in live, in person.
There's Dizney.
Yeah, we just saw him at Dizney a month ago. So that pretty much sold us on the ship, and then we were so impressed with the quality of the decor. We were on right around Christmas time, so the way
same time as them.
Well, yeah, obviously you know that because you were there, but we were impressed with how they decorated for Christmas, and it just kind of seemed to take that extra step that a lot of the other cruise lines maybe haven't. I don't know. Yeah, that impressed us.
And we like the freestyle cruising, right? You don't need to worry about your preset times, right? You can just show up to the restaurant whenever you want. Casual pretty much the whole time, even though most of the time, even on the other cruise lines, we're casual no matter what anyway. So, but we kind of like that freestyle cruising that they have.
We had only experienced Dizney up to that time, and we were very nervous about trying something different. So we were.
It was a nice ship, though. I like the panorama view.
We went on the NCL Escape after that. I will say I love NCL. I definitely love, and everything that you guys had mentioned, I would agree with that. I love that style of cruising. So definitely a great cruising line to go with. They kind of get like negative after Carnival. I think they're the next cruise line that gets the most negativity. But our experience so far has been nothing but great. And we're releasing our NCL Escape vlogs right now, and the service we received on that was amazing.
Yeah, we've been watching on actually, it's kind of making me want to do a New England cruise, which we've driven. We did a 19-day driving trip where we drove up the coast and drove basically the same route that the cruise line is taking. But yeah, your vlogs are actually making me want to book one of those cruises. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that land trip we did. Like we saw so much in like 19
days. Like it wasn't a short period of time.
A cruise would be a lot quicker and a lot easier, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Destinations Delight, Crystal Wagner, thank you so much for joining us. So that we checking both of our channels out. So thank you. We also had it was Griswold Family Vacay. They said they are back. So thank you for coming back, you guys. Papa Mozo said Majesty of the Seas is a smaller ship and an older one, but we enjoyed it. I hear a lot of good things about the Mariner of the Sea too. I've heard mixed reviews, but I know a lot of people have been enjoying that. So good. It's what is, now this might be a tougher question. What is your least favorite ship? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but one that you can rate lower than the others.
Least favorite ship.
I would say the Paradise.
Yeah, Paradise maybe.
Carnival Paradise.
They were also on the Sensation, same class, right? They were both fantasy class.
Yeah,
but
that was our first. The Sensation was our first cruise. But
I like that one because it was our first, right?
Yeah, but I think I actually didn't like the Paradise as much.
We were also on the Elation too, weren't we?
Yeah,
they were both kind of the same. Yeah, so I mean, they're the older ship, they're the smaller ships in Carnival's fleet. So I mean, they kind of have that kind of gaudy look to them and whatnot. So yeah, I'd probably be one of those two.
Yeah,
that's what I was kind of worried about, is a non-Disney cruise having a gaudy look to it.
Yeah,
and it took a while for the Bliss. It wasn't even really a chandelier. It was like a light sculpture thing that came down from the ceiling. It took a while for that to grow on me, and then at first I was like, this is kind of gaudy. And then as I was on it, I was like, okay, this is actually nice because the color change and everything. So
all right, so what has been your favorite and least favorite ports that you guys have visited?
ports while we were actually on a cruise.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll see if you guys agree with us, if you've ever been to that port.
My least favorite, I think, actually was, I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this one, but St. Martin. I wasn't a big fan of St. Martin.
I like St. Martin.
Oh, wow.
It's not my favorite, but I like St. Martin.
I don't know. It's not a place that I necessarily would go back to on a land vacation. I kind of rate ports what I want to go back there and spend time. I think one of my favorite ports was Barbados, and we did a 14-day, well, it was 2 back-to-back cruises out of San Juan, and we had, I don't know how many ports, 9 or 10.
Probably 8 or 9 different ports
during that time period. And Barbados and Antigua were 2 of the ports that we went to, and we fell in love with Barbados, and we actually did a land trip based on that one day that we were there. And so we booked a 12-day vacation and, rented a car, drove around. And that's the one tip that we always suggest to people is, and a lot of people don't think about, is to rent a car when you go to a port. A lot of people are scared to drive in a foreign place. And a lot of the islands, I mean, they're an island. How lost can you get? So
would you drive to Tortola?
Maybe not. Depends on the landscape.
But yeah, other than Tortola.
Or something.
Yeah. What's your favorite port?
My favorite port is Barbados. Yeah, I mean, we haven't been to like Aruba and Curacao on a cruise, so I wouldn't count those.
Yeah.
But Barbados was by far my favorite port because obviously we went back there and had a great time. So
what's your least favorite?
It's my least favorite. That's a hard one because I liked Belize when we went to Belize and we did the snorkeling, but I wasn't big when we went to Belize City.
Yeah.
So
it depends on what you do.
I liked Montego Bay because we went to that resort. So I don't know what my least favorite really is. I don't know that I know that offhand.
We'll go with mine.
Yeah, we'll go with Missy's. I don't know. Mine.
Greg's favorite, he's let that be known several times, is Nassau.
That's not my favorite.
Least favorite. Sorry, least
That's
favorite.
my least favorite.
Yes.
I was gonna say that, but
I actually like Nassau,
Yeah,
but
it
just because we
depends.
went to the last time we were there, we went to Atlantis.
well, that's true.
You didn't get to go to Atlantis.
I didn't get to go. I was
I went
sick
to
again.
Atlantis, and Atlantis was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the area of the port around like actual downtown Nassau is kind of, I mean, it's oversaturated. There's like usually like 5 or 6 ships there, and it's crowded. And
Actually, we're supposed to be going on a cruise in November. That's assuming cruising world's back to normal, and it goes to Nassau. So we actually are using one of our timeshares, and we're staying one night, but we're technically not staying all night, but we're able to get into Atlantis by using our timeshare for one day. So we're basically going for free.
yeah, it's only like $100 in actual fees to us. So
Yeah.
well, it would normally cost like $300 for 2 people to go to Atlantis.
Yeah.
That's
So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Greg's mom's joined the chat. Hello, Mama
Oh,
Bertha.
hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
We haven't been to Atlantis yet, but we'd like to.
There's still a few things I want to do in Nassau. The last time we went, we actually had a really good time, and we had planned just to get off the ship to take the pictures of the front of the Bliss, and then we ended up saying, let's go to Senor Frogs, and so we ended up walking through there. We went through the shops on the way back, getting souvenirs, and that's probably the place that we ended up buying the most souvenirs on any trip that we've gone to.
Which one?
When we went to Nassau and went to Senor Frogs.
Yeah, that was a fun place.
That was good. It was noisy, but it was really good. So
They
I
had
had
some
a little bit
interesting
different
signs
view.
around the restaurants.
yeah, there's at least 3 or 4 things I still want to do in Nassau. So something that still interests me about that. All right, so you guys, I was really excited to see these, and you guys have been releasing the vlogs. It was your transatlantic inaugural cruise on the NCL Encore, which we are going to go on next year to Alaska. So a little bit about that cruise. So what do you guys, your thoughts on that whole trip that you took?
It was definitely a once in a lifetime type of situation. Once in a lifetime, because I'll probably never do it again. We flew over to Italy and we spent about 5 days in Rome. And so we did we combined a lot of our vacations with land and sea. So we did a little bit of land tours, and then we jumped on a boat, and it was 9 days at sea in November. That's the key. If I ever did a transatlantic again, it definitely would not be in the fall. That was, I think, the problem. We had really rough seas, and
especially at the beginning.
Yeah, we had 46-foot waves for 3 days straight. So yeah, that kind of, it didn't ruin the cruise, but it just didn't make the cruise a lot of fun, because when you're in waves that big, there's not a lot you can do.
Be holding on to the railings or something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Walk.
Excuse me.
Actually, a lot of the staff was sick, and Jeremy talked to the cruise director.
Yeah, Silas, the same cruise director that was on the Bliss.
Yeah, and he said he was out for a day. He couldn't.
He had to cancel certain engagements because he was out. Yeah, it's the first time he'd been doing it for 12 years, and it was the first time that he had not been able to actually. He was out for a whole day.
Yeah.
We want to say thank you very much, Jim, for your super chat. That's very awesome of you. Thank you.
He says, this year's a quarter is over. Let's celebrate. Jim has been a great friend of ours. And those of you who are really familiar with us, we do a lot of projects with Jim. We were able to meet him.
Partner channel.
Yeah, able to meet him. And when he came over to Disneyland, we've gone over to Florida and met him. So, Jim, thank you. You mean so much to us. You're awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Silas Cook has actually been my favorite cruise director too. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, we really liked him.
Yeah, he was very energetic.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Yeah,
he was, unless he was seasick.
But you turn around, oh, there he is again.
We also had joining us Michelle from MLB Destinations. I believe we said hello to Dave from Fisher Fun Ventures.
We have Disney Nerd Herders here as well.
Welcome, guys. Great show tonight. You had Avery on. Always great to see Avery on your show.
I know. He needs to be an illustrator. He did some cool drawings.
Yeah, that was really cool to see that. Okay, so I'm really interested about this transatlantic one. My thoughts, if I can get my words out, is I've always been leery on doing something like that because I feel, one, the staff isn't going to be as efficient as they can. One, it's a uniqueness of being on a ship for its inaugural cruise, which I think is always an amazing thing to try. But then it's the fear of how well trained is the staff going to be? Is everything going to be running efficiently? Are they going to have everything running?
Yeah.
So what is your thoughts on doing that, besides the weather, the time of year to go?
Yeah, I actually think that part.
There was a few things that were a little off. I mean, food-wise, maybe we had a bad meal at the diner, American Diner, but for the most
that
part,
wasn't really the staff's fault. I mean,
well, that's true. There's just the bad recipes and stuff like that.
I actually think the staff did really good.
The staff was great. Yeah, no issues with the
staff. The key that would actually make me want to book another inaugural cruise is that if they would do it in the spring, it'd be great. But was the fact that they only book about 50% of the ship. So it was funny. You would go to like the guest services to ask a question, and there was always a sign up where at full capacity, can't switch rooms. But yet when we would walk down the hall, we had about 6 rooms beside us that had no people, that literally were empty. And I think there might have been one time we were on the ship for 9 days. 9 days at sea, no land, until we ended up in New York. So basically you got on the boat in Southampton, UK, and you get off the boat in New York. You don't see land the whole time. But we only got on an elevator a couple of times, maybe a couple of times, where there was ever anybody on the elevator. And we were extremely spoiled.
Yeah, so no rushing for the elevator, right? So when we got on the Escape later on, like in December, it was like a night and day. It's like you got to wait for elevators, you know. You go to get on an elevator and it's full. This one, like you get on an elevator and it's empty every time almost.
Yeah. And we made the joke when we got on the elevator and there was a lady on the elevator. I'm like, why are you on my elevator?
That's right. My own personal elevator.
Because we've never seen a person. But yeah, that part of it, I would definitely, if you don't like crowds, that was a whole new cruising experience. We went to the main dining room and literally there was probably 30 people in the main dining room having dinner. I mean, that was, so it's kind of, you feel kind of more catered to just because there's not a lot of people for them to do things for. So it was a lot easier to get things done for you because they're not taking care of, 4,000 people.
It'd be great if it was warm and the pool decks were all open and you wouldn't have to fight for a pool chair too, but you didn't have that luxury.
No.
Right?
I think they're trying to find their niche and work out any kinks that they might have on an inaugural.
Yeah.
Like when a new cell phone comes out, people would say, "Oh, I'll wait a while, until the bugs are out or whatever." So it's kind of like that.
Well, like on the Bliss, when we went on the Bliss, a lot of people were saying that the staff wasn't as well trained as they should be, or they normally are. When we went on the NCL Escape, that staff, they had it down. I don't know if you guys thought the same thing with your experience on the Escape.
Yeah.
But, they were over the top for us for different reasons. But in general, they just, everything was just, they were on par with what you expected from a cruise line. The Bliss wasn't up to that level yet. So I think that's always a not a downside, but a newer crew, just them trying to find their sea legs.
I think it's more of a basic thing, like treat everyone the way that you'd want to be treated. That's like the main thing. And then your customer service skills will come in, naturally. But unless they've never dealt with the public ever in their life and this is their first job, then that might be what's happening. But for the most part, just treat people the way that you want and be helpful, because that's what the job is and everything. So I don't see that being too hard to do, really.
Yeah,
definitely. You know what time it is, Greg?
It's a spotlight channel that you forgot to set the alarm for. So if you're a creator, please pop that in the chat that you're a creator so everybody can check out your content and your channels and support everybody.
Yep. And we like to give shout outs to channels that you might not be aware of. We like to have guests on our show that might not have people know about. So our channel today is someone that we've been familiar with for a little bit. They were on the, I forgot what they called it, but the marathon of the cruising channels that we were participating with last Saturday. It is Edna's World.
You have the red lights on.
Do I have it?
I guess the red lights are Cyborg or Cylon or something.
So Edna's World, I will actually, her last video that she just released today is, it was the Mojito Jello shots.
I can't fix it.
It was a tutorial, and actually was really fun. I definitely know I'm going to make that, but she does a lot of cruising stuff. She has almost 7,000 subscribers, which is amazing. So if you guys are not familiar with Edna's World, definitely go check her channel out and let her know that D&G Explorers, Big Explorer and Little Explorer sent you.
And Blaine would probably have to change the batteries or just get a new Spotlight channel. He said the Spotlight is looking a little dim these days.
Yeah, I don't know what I pressed, but it didn't do it. Also, at coming up next, you guys, is the ship show with John Klakowski and York Ragsdale, and we're actually going to be on that
just for a little bit,
for 10 minutes,
kind of say hi. And
they had planned to do the O'Malley's Pub, where different people were going to be joining. It's a 2-hour show that they're going to be doing. They're normally live on Wednesdays from 9 to 11 Eastern. Our time slot that we're going to be on is 10:40 Eastern. We're just, channels are going on like every 10 minutes. So if you're not familiar with some of the cruising channels, this is a great chance for you to see a wide variety of cruising channels, which are going to be stopping in there. So that's on the ship show right after this at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So looking forward to being a part of them. The ship show puts on amazing content. Their technology is really cool and fun to watch. Nurse Nancy, thank you. Yes, thank you for joining us. All right, guys. So our question is, since we're going to be going on the NCL Encore,
our next question,
yes, as we're going on the NCL Encore, differences that you noticed between the NCL Bliss, the sister ship of it, and the one that was built right before it, and the NCL Encore, what would you say the differences are?
Margaritaville.
Yeah, we missed Margaritaville a lot.
Yeah, we really missed the breakfast on Margaritaville. The Encore doesn't have that.
Well, they didn't have it for our cruise.
That's true.
They may have it now when they're in the Caribbean and when they go to Alaska.
Yeah.
But for our cruise, they didn't have the breakfast at Margaritaville, probably only because of.
Well, they didn't have Margaritaville.
Well, that's true, but they may have an American diner.
That's kind of a problem.
They may have an American diner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the American diner took place of Margaritaville on the Bliss. So that was one thing we really missed. I don't know. They're very they're so similar. I mean, right down to the decor, the shows. Actually, I liked the shows better, I think, on the Bliss. The biggest tip I can give, if you haven't seen the show Choir of Man, it's phenomenal. We've seen it. Actually, I think we saw it twice.
Twice on the Escape and once on the
once,
Encore.
Like, we like to. It's one of our favorite shows. And I don't think it really gets the publicity that it deserves. People are, looking more at the Broadway shows. They're not looking at this show. And we were so impressed with the quality of that show. So I would highly recommend seeing that if you haven't seen it. It's just, the ships are very similar.
Mm-hmm. The laser tag on the Bliss is like in the middle of the ship on the top, whereas on the Encore it's at the back. And the layout of the racetrack is different. The viewing platform is actually on the same level as the racetrack, where I think on the Bliss you kind of stood up above and looked down on the racetrack.
Yeah, and I actually watched Jeremy race, and I actually did like the area for me to stand in to watch on the Encore better than the Bliss. So that is something that I actually did like better. It seems they kind of took the things that they could improve on. They kind of improved them when it got to the Encore. So it's like it's tweaked a little more. Our favorite thing about that whole cruise, not cruise line, but that class of ship is Deck 8.
Yeah, the waterfront.
Yeah.
And it's the same.
It's exactly the same. The chairs are a little different. I mean, literally the sofa sit on it. That is the biggest thing that we would find people that we're on the cruise for a week or two and don't even know that exists. But it's an area that you can go and you can sit, you can watch, YouTube. Well, if you have really good internet, yeah, I mean, you could read a book, you could do whatever. They have restaurants, there's bars, there's so there's tons to do, and you're outside. You're the
right
entire
there, the water's right there, and everything's like really close to the water. And
yeah. So that's our favorite thing, I think, about that type of ship is Deck 8.
Mm-hmm.
So
we love the observation lounge on.
Yeah, that too.
Is it almost identical on the Encore?
Yeah, pretty much the same.
It is. The decor is maybe a little bit different. Actually, that was one of the things that broke during our cruise. During some of the waves, they actually had a balcony that shattered on one of the people's decks, but a piece of art had came loose in the observation lounge, fell over, and we weren't sitting there when it happened, but we were like, that doesn't look right. Something about that isn't right. The sculpture was laying on its side. So, but yeah, I would say it's very similar to the Bliss. So
wow.
I don't think you could have a bad time on any of the cruise ships we're talking about right now. All of the ones we've been on for Norwegian, I think really are kind of a step above a lot of the carnival ships that we've been on.
Mm-hmm.
We like the Choir of Man show also.
We saw that on the Escape. I'm touching my face.
Yeah.
And if you like beer, you get free beer before the show.
Yeah, when they invited people up to the front, and then they could sit up on the little kind of bar stools there.
Part of the show.
Okay, free beer, right on.
Actually, we liked the singers better in the Encore show than we did the Escape.
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll have the same singers,
same entertainment,
entertainment, because we actually thought they were better. So
good.
We did go to Margaritaville on the Escape, and we weren't very.
It was okay.
We weren't really excited about it.
Yeah.
They didn't have the bar open because we were docked, and we just weren't crazy about the food to begin with there.
I agree with you. Actually, we took we had a group of people that we took on the Escape, and a lot of them, it was their first cruise back in December. And we talked up Margaritaville. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. And then we went and we were like, eh.
They love the breakfast there.
It wasn't the breakfast that we had on the Bliss.
Yeah.
So we were comparing it to that, that experience. So I think some of the restaurants, yes, it's the same restaurant, but it's a little bit different on each ship.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wouldn't write that off as something not to do if you see it again, just because you had one bad experience. But we
like the actual restaurant, but on the ship, it was just not the same.
Well, we went on the day we went to Halifax, Nova Scotia, and it was really windy up there. So you have the wind whipping since it's more like an outside area. Yeah. And it was a little cold. In fact, my mom got so cold that she ended up not going on the excursion, the water boat. She ended up the duck boat for it. Yeah. Welcome, Dina, Cruising Through Life. Thank you for joining us.
Hey,
she says hello to both of our channels. Griswold Family Vacay. We are all carnivals so far. Our teenager loves some Guy's Burgers.
I love Guy's Burgers too.
we are going on the Panorama. We're going to the dark side next February. And that's one of the places that I'm looking forward to. So that should be a fun cruise, and I'm very excited to try Carnival, especially one of the newer ones. I don't think I would be as excited with an older Carnival ship.
Yeah.
But with the fact that it's one of the newest ones that they've come out with, I'm very excited for that.
Spiker's Crazy Adventure says, Vacay, my youngest, loves Guy's Burgers straight up with donkey sauce. That sounds really interesting. I've never heard of donkey sauce before.
Really good. Okay.
Yeah.
One tip about Guy's Burgers, they have they have great French fries, but they also have a chili burger. So what you can ask for is, hey, can I get French fries with chili, and then I think you actually put your own cheese sauce on it. So get chili cheese fries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
The Carnival,
you just gotta ask for it.
That Carnival cruise will be our first Carnival
cruise. We are our next cruise. If it's I touched my face. It's next cruise that we go on is going to be our first Royal Caribbean one. It's our group cruise on the Symphony of the Seas. Then we have the one after that is in February on the Panorama, and then we are going in July 2021 on the NCL Encore. Nothing booked for 2022 yet, but we're hoping for
we'll see.
The Wish.
We'll see.
We're wishing for the wish. It's a Disney wish. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, the Encore, I noticed they have some newer restaurants. Now you said the American Diner, which took place of the Margaritaville, that was on when you did your reviews of the restaurants, that was, you said, your least favorite restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That chicken burger looked sad.
It was, I was embarrassed for them. It was the worst chicken sandwich I've probably ever had.
Yeah, it was basically chicken thigh. So all dark meat chicken on a chicken sandwich.
And it was like this much meat on the bun. I took 3 bites before I actually got to chicken. Like, it was bad. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Ben from Pete TV would not like that chicken sandwich. Probably he did a bunch of chicken sandwich,
like 3 of them, right?
Tastings from different places, and I'm sure he wouldn't like that one.
It was not good. I had French dip. It actually wasn't too bad, but their nachos. I mean, if you compare the nachos that we had at American Diner to the volcano nachos at Margaritaville, I mean, it's a completely different type of nachos. I mean,
different world.
Yeah, different world altogether. I mean, the nachos were so small at American Diner, where those ones that I don't know if you guys had them, but the ones at Margaritaville are fabulous. Yeah, really, the free ones you get at Ocean's or at the local are just as good, if not better, than the ones at American Diner. So,
welcome, Bob and Ashley.
Yeah, welcome, guys. Griswold and Spikers were saying that the Blue Iguana is a place they really like to visit. I'm looking forward to eating that. So I can't wait for that.
I don't know if I've eaten Blue Iguana.
Yeah, we did.
Did we eat Blue Iguana? Okay. We've been on the Vista, I guess.
I just kind of go with the flow. Like when we're on the ship and we see something, oh yeah, I'll try it.
Well, we've tried. I think the ones that we really will on the Encore, we'll probably do teppanyaki again, because that was for me one of my favorites, both the Bliss and the Encore.
Yeah.
We did Ocean Blue. Basically, they changed the name a little bit on the Bliss.
I liked Ocean Blue.
I like the Encore Ocean Blue better than the Bayamo by Ocean Blue on the Bliss, because there was more lobster options on the Escape than there was on the Bliss. So I don't know if that was what the reason was for that.
Well, on the Bliss, I didn't have any complaints about my dinner. You said you didn't like yours.
Yours was a lot better.
I got
a red snapper,
the red snapper meal, and we got the oyster shooters, and those were an appetizer. Oyster shooters for an appetizer. That's weird.
And then we did the La Bistro on the Bliss. Greg wasn't fond of that. I didn't choose the right thing.
I didn't like the area that it was at. It felt like a constant earthquake. Everything was moving because you could feel the vibration of the motors underneath you and everything. It was horrible.
And then Cagney's. We've had Cagney's on both ships. And
Cagney's was good.
Yeah.
Cagney's was better on this last ship than the Bliss, I think, for me.
So we would, if we get on the Encore, we have the free at sea for 3 diners. We'll probably do teppanyaki, Ocean Blue, and Cagney's will probably be our favorite restaurants or choices to go on it.
We really like the Brazilian steakhouse as well.
Madera, it was called on the Escape.
I'm trying to think what it's called. Madera.
That was good.
Yeah, it is really good. And like you said, teppanyaki. I mean, you can't go wrong. I don't think we've ever had a bad experience with teppanyaki. So yeah.
Yeah, we like teppanyaki.
All right, so you guys, what are you interested? Well, we'll segue into something first before we get to those questions. But what's that? My kid's favorite place on the entire ship is the Red Frog Pub. What kind of parents are we? Our kid's favorite hangout is a pub. You know, I don't know if you're aware, Greg, but they have a contest for the first person to order a drink from the Red Frog Pub. Right. So when you get on there, you have to rush to there. Now, I don't remember if anyone's in chat. Remind me what you get, because I don't know if it was Dave and Brandy that.
Hey, Alana Zagano.
Welcome.
Congratulations. Today is their anniversary.
Oh, that's right. But I don't think I would be racing down to the Red Frog on the Panorama to try to win something. But that's in case you don't know about it, they do have something. So you guys also like to do land stuff too. Now you do timeshares. Is that mainly how you travel, only through timeshares, or do you have other options? So describe what that looks like for your land.
You want me to explain? So yeah, I mean, pretty much we haven't really stayed other than like just single nights here and there. We don't stay in actual hotels. We own, I guess you could say, 3.5 timeshares because we own 3 that are annuals that we can use it every year, and we own one that's an every other year. And technically, out of that, we can get almost 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks of actual vacation time or time using that. So yeah, it's actually great. I mean, especially compared to a cruise cabin, the size of the rooms, and even compared to a hotel room. I mean, most of the time we're staying in like a 1-bedroom villa or a 2-bedroom unit. When we can invite others, we can invite your friends who are friends, invite your parents.
You start to get a lot of You start to get a lot of friends when you own timeshares.
Exactly. So we've been all over with timeshare. I mean, we've been to Aruba, we've been to Cancun, we've
Hawaii.
been to Hawaii
Multiple times.
3 times now to Hawaii with our timeshares. So we've been all over Florida. We've been to Hilton Head. We've been to, I think I said Cancun, Aruba. We went to Curacao, but that wasn't in a timeshare. So
yeah, we actually did hotel.
And actually Barbados. When we went to Barbados,
Yep.
Ocean 2 Resort in our vlog series there, that was a timeshare that we traded one of our weeks that we own in Florida for a week in Barbados. So,
and I think timeshares get a bad rap because back in the 80s and the 90s, even today, but a lot of people don't understand how they work or
to scam
or and we researched it for about 18 months before we actually purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we did our homework, and we own brands that are really easy to trade. They have high tradability. There's a lot of
Marriott.
Yeah, we own Marriott
Sheraton.
and Sheraton / Westin. We were so impressed with one of the resorts in Cancun. It was the Westin Laguna Mar that we literally came home and bought a timeshare. All of our timeshares are in Orlando, Florida, but they trade really well because everybody wants to go to Orlando to go to Disney. So we take those weeks and we go other places. So we actually used one of our weeks that we purchased with Sheraton. It was 1 week, but we traded it into a smaller unit, and we were able to stay 13 nights for what was really a 7-day stay.
Yeah, so it was like a $1,300 maintenance fee. So we stayed in Cancun
for 13 days.
Basically $100 a night, which is actually pretty good for a unit that is essentially a 1-bedroom unit. You have a full living room, a full kitchen, full master bedroom, master bath. So we were able to go out and get some groceries, cook some food ourselves, and then right across the street is a huge mall with all kinds of restaurants and anything you could really want. And if you so desire, in Cancun, there's a bus that goes up and down the street, 120 miles an hour, but it goes up and down the street.
50 cents.
for like $1 or 50 cents.
For 50 cents, you can risk your life. It's
Go just about anywhere in Cancun within the hotel zone. So we love our timeshares just as much as we love cruising.
I watched one vlog of a channel that said when they were walking off the resort property, that the guard was saying to be careful and to make sure of your surroundings, which is true in any spot. But
Yeah.
So you guys feel like you need to be overly concerned, like we were in Nassau?
Not overly.
No.
I mean, within the hotel zone, it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other areas, like if you go to like Riviera Maya, or even like north of Cancun, or if you're in like the actual downtown Cancun, you need to be a little more careful. I mean, obviously, like you say, you kind of always have to be on your guard. Don't be carrying big wad of cash, no flashy jewelry, that kind of thing. But for the most part, I mean, we just walked across the street. I walked down the street to the grocery store a couple times, and
we're kind of adventurous too, though. So, I mean, we've been to Cancun many times, and when we first started going to Cancun, we took the public bus, and so we kind of went to some different places, and then we got really adventurous, and we don't speak any Spanish, which isn't good if you're trying to communicate with the local people. But we actually went to what would be equivalent to like the Greyhound and purchased tickets, and we had no clue because we couldn't read the signs. Which bus do we get on? But we actually caught the bus, and it was what, a 90-minute trip.
About an hour and 45 minutes or something like that
to Tulum,
to
the Mayan ruins. the bus broke down, so that was scary.
Blew a tire.
Blew a tire actually under my feet. So like we've had all the weird experiences when we travel. We kind of attract chaos, I think. So we kind of learn to go with the punches. But we've kind of, we've done some of the dangerous things, and I think we've kind of learned,
not dangerous like ziplining or bungee jumping.
Yeah, I mean,
skydiving.
Took the boat. Actually, we rented a car too, and I would recommend not doing this.
Yeah, we did rent a car.
We rented a car, and I drove from the airport in Cancun to Tulum, which we really love Tulum. Probably not the smartest thing we've ever done. We probably would never do that again in Mexico.
Don't rent a car in Mexico.
Yeah, but they have checkpoints, that you're driving through, and the speed limits, a lot of speed traps, and they're standing there with machine guns. You're, driving past. It's just a whole different experience.
Well, that sounds nice and relaxing.
So all that.
And the speed constantly changes. Like you'll be going 40 kilometers an hour, and then it goes to 100, and then it drops to 40 again. And it's like they're hoping they can catch you speeding, right? And then they pull you over and give you a ticket.
Yeah. So we kind of knew all that going into it, but experiencing that, it's one of those things. As travel agents, I always tell people, because we're travel agents, I always tell people don't rent a car. like in specific places. Like I don't recommend really leaving the premises. Like if you go to Jamaica, I mean, if you go to a nice hotel, stay there. It's safe. Don't venture out too much. Kind of the same thing in Mexico. I mean, it depends on where you're at and knowing your surroundings. So if you're going to the hotel zone, it's very touristy. It's kind of like
almost like Miami Beach.
Yeah, it's like the Miami Beach or the Disney World of that area. I mean, it's you're going to have a lot of
mostly Americans, Europeans that are traveling there.
Yeah.
So for the most part, within the hotel zone, you don't have any issues.
Yeah, and it's actually a pretty cheap place to go. Flights are pretty easy, and if you do, they have a lot of all-inclusives, which that's the other thing with, timeshare, we're not tied to just eating at the hotel. So if they have food that you don't like, we don't have to eat that food. We can walk across the street and, kind of venture out and try different things.
I heard you love fish food.
Missy? Missy will not eat any fish.
No.
Yeah, I love seafood. That's my favorite.
Fish. She'll eat fried shrimp.
Fried shrimp.
And I'll try at least almost anything except I don't like, what's one thing I don't really like?
You didn't like lobster.
Well, lobster I didn't like, but then altered fruit.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like.
Don't give me a fruit pie. Don't give me fruit smoothie. Don't give me baked fruit, anything like that. I can eat jelly. That's about it.
We're not big on lobster.
No, we're not big lobster fans. We had it in New England.
Actually, we were in Maine. Yeah, so we're those odd people that don't like lobster.
Alana was asking why I'm way in the back. I'm not really way in. Well, I guess I am. Because I have pillows in the back here for back support because I'm sitting all day at a computer. So I always have to have back support for that too. But I'll move up for you a little bit there.
We're about 7 minutes before the top of the hour. So those of you that are going to be going over to the ship show, let them know that Little Explorer and Big Explorer sent you. So that would be nice to give us a shout out over there. You guys, thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Great.
It's not social distancing.
That's right.
This is totally not 6 feet right here.
No.
I can't move it.
David from Fisher Fun Ventures, who we're in the process of trying to figure out a date that they can come and join us, so you guys can get to know them. They have a story about Nassau, which is a little scary, so we'll have to have them describe that.
That's wrong, Charlie.
My feet don't touch the ground.
Get you the booster seat, push you up more.
All right, you guys. Anything that you would like to say to them about your channel as we're kind of wrapping it up? What would you guys like to say about yourselves?
I think we just love to travel. I mean, we've been married. This year will be 20 years, and we go on 5 to 7 major vacations a year. So we just started documenting it a few years ago, which is kind of ironic because I actually have a degree in photography, yet he's the person that does all the videos and the editing. So
you need to learn.
I need to learn to do the editing. But yeah, we do a lot of land. We do cruises, Disney. Now that we live in Orlando, or we don't live in Orlando, Jacksonville, Florida. We're going to Disney a lot. So,
well, not right now, but yeah.
Well, not at the moment. We were.
We will be.
We were a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just have a big variety, I think, on our channel.
Yeah.
And we love the community. The
cruise community, travel
community's
community.
great.
Yeah, fabulous.
You guys you're a lot like us, how you're not just a cruising channel. You're land, as you had mentioned before, you're a land channel, and we like to explore, and that's, whether it's Disney parks, we just like to go out and experience different things, and we've fallen in love with cruising now that we've had that. So you're very similar to us, and I aspire, Jeremy, to be as good as an editor as you. I cannot say that enough. Your vlogs are amazing, and I just enjoy watching them. When I'm watching, I'm like in wow, like your B-rolls, and I'm thinking, I don't think about filming that when I'm doing it, but you do it so smooth. So awesome job. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to Taziar Travel. They are awesome. And we hope to have you guys on again in some time, and hopefully we can take another cruise sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe it'll be on the dark side on the panorama.
Maybe.
I think we'll be cruising will come will come back at some point. So
Oh yeah.
We did
Actually, there's some great deals right now. If anybody is looking for a cruise in the future, this is the time to be looking, because the cruise lines are really trying to get, the repeat cruisers. So
Spy Cruise Crazy Adventure says they're not far from you, to hopefully one day meet you at Disney.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Definitely.
I did something crazy 2 days ago. Normally because we have a group cruise in September 26th.
Yeah.
And I've been watching airfare from Fresno to Miami, and it's been $600, $700. Well, it went down to $214 round trip.
214.
214. And then
I thought it was more than that. You told me.
If you choose a seat, it was more than that after you go into it, but it was $254. I was thinking about it. I went ahead and booked it later in the evening. It went up to $279, but still $279.
Yeah.
For one round trip ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't use it in September, we can use it up to a year.
Something else. Yeah, you can change it once without a penalty. So I went ahead and did that. I don't know how smart that was, but I figured it could save us a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and took that gamble. So and you guys are travel agents. So if anyone is looking for a travel agent, you can definitely reach out to you.
Within a year, I would really hope that everything that's going on will be taken care of, and everything will get back to more normal. But if for some reason we can't use it in a year, I'm sure they would give the money back.
No.
Probably
All right. Well, I tried to tell you, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll do a good thing. Doug, happy belated birthday. It was his birthday a few days ago.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yes. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up because it is almost top of the hour. Welcome. Thanks, guys, again. And
everybody.
Yes, nice meeting you guys on screen again. And how we like to end our shows is I'm Derick.
I'm Gregory.
But if you forget our names, I'm Little Explorer.
I'm Big Explorer.
And as Walt Disney once said, we are
just getting started.
See you next week, guys. Take
Stay
care.
safe, be healthy.